Hey, I am back. Ray, in this video, we're going to tackle ways that one can restore harmony within themselves by utilizing the cosmic ruling energy of Ehwaz. If you're not familiar to the ruling energies, this is the ruling energy of Ehwaz. It is utilized to restore harmony between the masculine and feminine energies that dwell within all of us. This, in my opinion, is relationship is a hot topic these days, and me being on this path for over 30 years, and I have a strong connection with the divine feminine goddess figures. Most males I encounter, whether they call themselves conscious or not, they don't have a real connection with the divine feminine. Most of them, they'll give you a little sentence or a couple of paragraphs on divine feminine. It's usually just enough to get a little sex. You know what I'm saying? But they haven't really done any sufficient, real deep study along the lines of the divine feminine. More likely not doing any meditation or haven't connected with their own spiritual mother. So this is a reflection of how they deal with the women outside themselves, which is not good for the most part. So it's imperative that one forms a relationship. If you're a man, reconnecting with the mother energy, the divine feminine. If you're a woman, reconnecting with the divine masculine or a masculine God force. You know what I'm saying? So for a male, reconnecting with the mother energy, the divine feminine, this has nothing to do with being a mama's boy. It has nothing to do with a sign of weakness like what is being portrayed now these days in society. It really gets you into that mode of being more compassionate, being more patient, being an excellent listener. You know what I'm saying? And you still retain your masculinity by reconnecting with your divine feminine energies. I mean, you can relate better with women outside of yourself. That doesn't mean you're going to get along with every female, because we all got issues, and most of us got a little crazy going on. But being disrespectful, dragging women, and all that, you're not going to do that when you have a strong connection, with the spiritual mother or the divine feminine that dwells within you. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to happen. You're not gonna, connect with your mother on the inside and then drag a woman on the outside. Those two just won't go together. So I think as males reconnect with the spiritual mother or a goddess force that dwells within them, the issues they have with the outer woman will begin to clear up. They will begin to heal, because the feminine will help to heal any issues they have with the inner feminine. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So it is imperative, coming from the male perspective, that he learn to reconnect with the divine feminine, not just spitting out a couple of sentences and reading a couple of paragraphs just to get sex. That was popping for about over 10 years that they got away with that. So you have to be for real when you connected with that divine feminine energy. This will help you to heal and relate better to the feminine outside of yourself. Now, again, that doesn't mean that you're going to get along with every woman because you connect with the divine feminine. Because a lot of us are, coming with agendas. You know what I'm saying? Coming with wicked motives. When you connect more with your spiritual mother, you'll be able to identify who is who. Your intuition will begin to strengthen. The mother will send you dreams about who is trying to hoodwink you and all that different stuff. So that is like an added bonus for a male to reconnect with that spiritual mother and God force. If you don't know how to do this, send me a message and I will give you God by God, because I've been working with the divine feminine for decades now. So very simple, really. Study the divine feminine, get you books on the goddess mythology, see which one of these mother energies really resonates with you, and figure out ways on how to work with this energy. I think the Encyclopedia of Spirits, Goddesses, Gods, and all about Judica Inless, I think, ILLES. Excellent book, 1,000 pages. Have that. So many books on goddess mythology that you can connect with and learn more about the divine feminine. Again, it's not a sign of weakness. You still retain your masculinity. If you study ancient Kemet or any of the ancient cultures, especially Kemet, they had goddesses surrounding them. Then King Tut, when he was buried, he had 4 goddesses protecting him. You know what I'm saying? The ancient males had no problem with the divine feminine. In fact, when the pharaoh sat on the throne, who was the throne? Set name means the throne. So they had no problem with recognizing the power and magic of the divine feminine. Today, being more patriarchal, we've gotten away from that consciously, and it's all dealing with time cycles. So, and this cycle is more patriarchal, and there's not much emphasis on the divine feminine like it was in ancient times. And we go through alternating cycles of patriarchy and matriarchy. So those of us who study time cycles know what I'm talking about. So never mind a time cycle. Now is the time to reconnect with that inner feminine. If you're a male listening to this strengthens your connection, obviously, with the feminine within yourself. But you'll better be able to relate to a feminine outside of yourself when you run into one that knows who she is as a divine feminine woman. You know what I'm saying? So that is very key for a male, and strengthening his ability to have a harmonious relationship, with the opposite sex and vice versa. And then too, a lot of just observation mode. There's a lot of wounded people flooding the airwaves right now. You know what I'm saying? Speaking out of pain, refusal to heal. A lot of fluffy practices is popping off right now. A lot of Google scholars are giving out information that's just not effective in healing the deep-seated wounds and trauma that the collective is going through right now. So it's imperative that, if you desire to have a harmonious relationship, you got to heal properly. That means you have to address this from the spiritual level first, and then it trickles down into the physical. You got to find those spiritual practices that are going to help you heal your mind, clear out those negative emotional blocks in order for you to properly heal. You know what I'm saying? This is very imperative that we quit bullcrapping around and really take interest in healing ourselves so that we can be, way shores for the little ones looking up to us. Because right now they're looking at pure chaos. And it's people having a reluctance to heal, or they're just not finding the right teachers to help them to heal properly. You know what I'm saying? And also very damaging just through observation, this only broke males deal with heavy set women type crap. Like, this is the shit that we're listening to, and it is absolute garbage. You know what I'm saying? Just observation over 3 decades, I've seen too many men with heavy set women. That's their preference. Some men prefer a heavy set woman, and they got a little money. They may not be millionaires, but they are well off financially. They take care of themselves, and that heavy set woman. I think the problem is these days we want everything to be shown on social media. Every successful couple, especially those who've been together a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, they're not putting every facet of their life on social media for the world to see and judge, and they're not in entertainment mode. You know what I'm saying? I just met a guy, one of my teachers when I was in school, been with his wife for a half a century. They just went to Albania, went to Greece, traveling the world together, been together 50 years. These people need to be interview the couples that have been together for a long time. You know what I'm saying? See their perspective on relationships and what it takes. There's too many wounded people out here flooding the airwaves, and it's creating a bunch of just a toxic environment when it comes to even talking about relationships. You know what I'm saying? So I tell you, on my Patreon class, I have classes on all of the rooms, 3 major ants. And on my Patreon page, I have a room presentation with sound that helps to cleanse and purify the relationship vibration within the aura, within the mind, within the emotions. So check out my Patreon page. I'll post a link, obviously, at the bottom of the page. So you can really get on your way to properly healing and moving those energies out of the way. You know, these demonic energies are running rampant these days, and they are attacking everybody without mercy on all levels, spiritual, mental, emotional. So if you don't have any ways to properly protect your mind, your aura, your spirit, these entities are latching on to these deep-seated traumas, and they are wreaking havoc. Entities can cause you to lose relationships. They can break up relationships. Planetary influence also plays a role in your relationship life. You know what I'm saying? Yes, certain transits in your natal chart. For example, if you got some heavy action in your 7th house, Saturn is sitting there, perhaps Pluto could be sitting there. These planets will challenge any of your relationship. If it's not stable, Saturn is going to remove it. Pluto is going to transform it. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have the proper magic to help you rise above these planetary influence. The proper magic to help you to cleanse and purify these entities that are connected to your mind and your emotional state. You know what I'm saying? So if you're only looking at wounded people talk about relationship stuff, this is a problem. You're never getting the other side of it. The other side is viewing those couples that have been together for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. What is their take on it? You know what I'm saying? You only listen to those when you only listen to those who go from, you know, for 30 years or so, you have a lot of us wanted one type of mate. For example, you have the males who, you know, all they wanted was the hoochie mama, the hood chick. They like the way she moved, they like her vibe, blah, blah, blah. This is more likely not going to end well when you're dealing with rowdy hoochie mamas and hood chicks. No disrespect to the hood chicks, but I'm just saying, though, it's usually not going to end well for you, especially if you call yourself a good person, a good guy. It's probably not going to end well for you. So after going from that type of woman for 20 years, 30 years of your life, these are the people who you see on social media giving their take on women. They consciously chose low vibratory mates, and when it doesn't end well, we got to hear about the shit on social media all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful and be careful about the type of people that you're listening to. If all they dealt with was lower vibratory mates their entire day in life, they don't have children from these lower vibratory mates. Now we got to hear about it. These are the main people that are flooding the airwaves with their opinions and only know one type of mate. And they base all relationship off their choices. And this is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of beautiful men and women walking amongst you right now, but they're not dealing with you if they know and see that you're in pain. You know what I'm saying? If they know all you ever dealt with was one type of male or one type of female lower vibratory mate, they're reluctant to deal with you, especially if they don't see you putting a real interest in healing and transforming yourself from that vibratory state. You know, me personally, I had a cycle myself of maybe 8-9 years or so where that's all I dealt with was the rowdy hood chick and the hoochie mama. You know what I'm saying? I had some good women that I was also dealing with, but I was more attracted to the hoochie mama and the rowdy hood chick. And I probably would have been with the good chicks, the good woman I was with probably now if I wouldn't have fucked that up dealing with the hoochie mamas and the rowdy hood chick. But it took for me to take a real interest in evolving spiritually. to where I no longer desire lower vibratory mates. You know what I'm saying? So that is also key to rising above the vibration, or even if, I mean, it doesn't matter where you go to in consciousness, you're still going to attract everybody. Everybody's going to be attracted to your light. You know, we get into that like attract like type of talk. That sounds good. However, when you begin to awaken more to your true self, the more you elevate consciousness, you're going to attract everybody. Everybody's coming for your energy. So you have to practice discernment. You have to create those boundaries and stay strong no matter how hot in the ass you may get. You have to maintain those boundaries and don't let your guard down just for a few moments of passion. It's a lot of that shit going on also. We know this person that just entered our life is no good, but because we ain't had none in a minute, we let that guard down, and then bam, you in a toxic situation all over again. You know what I'm saying? So strengthening your intuition is mandatory when dealing with relationships across the board. Whether you're in business for yourself or just dealing with anybody, your intuition will serve you in all facets of your life, in particular mates. Because the more you strengthen your intuition, never get complacent. You know what I'm saying? That is also a problem. For the most part, people, they can see a few spirits out the corner of their eye, they can see a few falling stars, they see they see a little bit, and now they're assuming they have no more work to do because they get a few glimpses of the spirit world. They can see faces in little trees and the rocks and the waters, and they stop right there. But your intuition can be enhanced and get stronger by the day. You know what I'm saying? And it will serve you for life. It will serve you in all areas of your life, strengthening your intuition. And working with runic energies, there's a runic energy that will help you with just about anything. You know what I mean? Like, there's runes that will help you strengthen your intuition. There are runes that will help you strengthen and awaken more of your third eye vision. There are runes that will protect you, you know what I'm saying, if you learn them properly and utilize the magic of the runic energies. So again, for the masculines or for the males that are looking at this video, it is imperative that you learn how to reconnect with the inner feminine, the spiritual mother. You know what I'm saying? And as an added benefit, once you reconnect with your spiritual mother, the inner feminine, not only will that energy help you to heal properly from any traumas that you may endure growing up, coming from the biological mother, she will protect you from being played with. From the women on the outside of yourself. Like, she will let you know, like, no, we're not doing this. And it will be a strong no. Now, you can be hard-headed and still get a spanking. You know, I can write a book on that too. However, she's not gonna allow you to get played with. That intuition is gonna strengthen within you the more you connect with that spiritual mother. You know what I'm saying? So this is very key for the male and his interactions with women on the outside of himself, to connect with the spiritual mother, the goddess figure. Doesn't mean that you are weakened. When you study, have the audacity. People ain't got time to read no more these days. Once you do enough research and study, you will know that the mighty pharaohs of ancient times, just about no matter whether in what culture they was in, they honored the divine feminine energies. The pharaoh sat on the throne, knowing the throne represented the goddess Auset. A lot of the major deities, a lot of the major gods were surrounded by goddesses. They were his primary protectors. You know, a lot of us who lack study are still harping on the masculine energy, the lion to protect them, blah, blah, blah. The primary protector of the race has always been Mama. Enough research, you will see that the primary protector of the race has been divine feminine energy. When you study the Hindu pantheon, one of the most strongest protective deities is the goddess Durga. Study Durga, you'll see that the gods get out the way when she come on the scene. You know what I'm saying? Very powerful protective energy. Kuan Yin is another motherly energy that's very highly protective. The eye of Ra. Who is the eye of Ra? Who is the protector of Ra? Basset, feminine energy. Who does Ra send to the planet to wreck shop when humanity gets out of line? The goddess Segmet, feminine energy. You know what I'm saying? It's in the myths. So a little research, you would know that the divine feminine is an energy that you must reconnect with. This will help you to heal properly. She will guide you in ways. She will guide you to real teachers that can help you heal properly. You know what I'm saying? So if you're out here looking for a mate to manipulate, looking for a mate you can take advantage of, the law of cause and effect, you may not want to hear anything about karma, but the law of cause and effect is a real force. You know what I'm saying? So if you get, for example, this is also happening across the board. If you've been in a lot of bad relationships and mama sends you Mr. Right or Miss Right into your world to help you to heal, and you turn around and drag that person because you've been wounded so bad, you're gonna get revenge for all the best relationship you've been in. You have now set the course of cause and effect into your world right now. You know what I'm saying? Be honest with yourself. If you have had a good woman or a good man and you have treated that person wrong out of pain, you need to beg mama for forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? You need to be like, I am so sorry. I was in pain. I drugged Mr. Right or Miss Right at that time. You know what I'm saying? Because mama is highly protective of her children. We know that there are bad males and bad females out there running them up, dragging and bring a lot of pain to people. But when mama sends you a good person in your life to help you heal and you turn around and drag that person, cause and effect is coming to see you. You know what I'm saying? No one is exempt from cosmic law and principle. Even the deities are subject to cosmic law and principle. You know what I'm saying? So it's imperative, if you have a good person that's on the scene, if you feel like you ain't ready for that person, keep it moving. If you feel like you need to heal, here's another thing, another trap that you can find yourself in. It's not about being perfect. It's not about healing until you are perfect. You know, when you meet the right mate, you're both going to heal together. You know what I'm saying? Healing is an ongoing process. Depending on what type of trauma you had to endure, depending on what, it's an ongoing process. The right mate will help you heal within the relationship. So it's not about being perfect. It's about healing enough to where you can now deal with somebody in a relationship. Because I just saw a post on my page. It was so sickening, but it's a reflection of what most people are in their consciousness, that people are now being open to robotic love. So now when you say to yourself, it's okay for me to get in a whole bed with a robot, just know that your consciousness is now hitting rock bottom. And you need to do something fast, spiritual practices to elevate your consciousness. You know what I'm saying? You have hit rock bottom in consciousness if you co-sign with sleeping with a robot. So I tell you, it's like seek help now. If you're contemplating sleeping with a robot, seek help now. Find a qualified spiritual teacher that will help you to elevate all levels of your consciousness in a hurry. If you're contemplating sleeping with a robot, that means whatever you got going on now, those fluffy practices have failed you miserably, as they are anyway, because they're fluffy practices. You know what I'm saying? So check out my Patreon page. I'm going to list a link, obviously. Awesome practices that you can meditate upon to help elevate consciousness. I have a lot of audio runic images that you can simply meditate on to help to heal. The more you work with them, obviously, the more the energy begins to permeate your consciousness and to help you to heal. You know what I'm saying? So if you have any questions, again, it's not about being perfect for somebody. It's about healing yourself enough to where you can get ready to be into a harmonious relationship And now you're going to heal within the relationship. Both of you are going to heal within a relationship. Most of us have been through a little bit of this, a little bit of that in terms of a relationship. So it's not about being perfect. It's not about healing yourself enough to get involved into a harmonious relationship, and y'all both will grow and heal within the relationship. And that means, for example, if you've been in a relationship where you've been cheated on a lot, you've been wronged a lot, this new relationship is going to do right by you this time. You know what I'm saying? It's going to do right by you. You're going to be able to heal properly together. And that means being loyal to each other, loving each other. If you never experienced this, you have to ask yourself, have you been one of those who went after a certain type of mate? Thug era was very damaging for about 30 some years. If you only dated thugs in your life, what would it be like to deal with that Mr. Nice Guy that was, he wasn't a part of him for 30 some years? So now Mr. Nice Guy is being sought after. He's more stable, mentally stable with himself. That is going to be a different dynamic. Can you handle it? Can you heal enough to say yes to Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Compassionate? Because a lot of these guys, here's a big time misconception. I've been here for 30 years that the nice guy, he's not going to be able to protect you. You want a thug, so he can protect you, blah, blah, blah. A lot of the nice guys actually practice Kung Fu. A lot of those are Kung Fu experts. I have a couple of relatives that are soft-spoken. They come off like a passionate. They're, almost like a shyness to them, but they will fucking kill you. They are karate experts. So when I look at the thug dude, he ain't really protected you from nothing, in all honesty. What have he protected you from in 30 some years? Not poverty, not homelessness, not sickness, nothing. So collectively, we played ourselves for 30 some years with this whole thug era, hoochie mama era, and it's been very damaging and traumatizing. So now it's time to heal properly from our own actions. It took for me to have a strong desire to evolve to where I no longer desire such a relationship. So check out the Patreon. I have all of the runic energies that I'm breaking down to, plus another tier dealing with the true names or the more ancient names of the planets and how to utilize those magical energies to, do what you desire to do by tapping into the true magic of the sun and the planets. So if you have any questions, give me a holla. Until next time, peace.